Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I wanted to make a video about a subject I read an article about the other day. And this is a gaming channel. I don't really want to get into politics. The only time I'll talk politics on this channel is when it affects video games, when it affects YouTube, things like COPPA, like copyright, or if there's some kind of regulation on games. And this kind of fixed that subject. Now, if you guys remember, about half a year ago, I started uploading videos talking about Article 13 and why the thing would be a disaster. And if you're unfamiliar with Article 13 was a law that was passed in the European Union. And basically what Article 13 does, to sum it up, is it is a new copyright law. And this law, it was also renamed Article 17, but we're going to be calling it Article 13 because that's what the majority of people are familiar with. What this law basically does is it puts stricter laws on copyright. And what it does is it holds platforms like Facebook, YouTube, other major platforms accountable for copyright material on their sites. Now, currently the policy is that when there's copyrighted material on YouTube, YouTube has to remove that stuff. They do remove that stuff, but they are not held directly responsible. What Article 13 does is it holds YouTube directly responsible. So let's say that somebody's uploading full songs, or they're uploading full movies on YouTube, clearly violating copyright policies. Not only is that person at fault that's uploading that stuff, YouTube now has a greater responsibility. And in my eyes, that's stupid. Now, YouTube's done a lot of mistakes with the copyright stuff, but it's just absolutely stupid to hold YouTube accountable for that stuff because it's not their fault. They are not responsible for what people upload on their platform. I understand they have to take that stuff down, but they're not directly responsible. There's literally millions of YouTube accounts out there, and there's thousands of videos that are uploaded a day. There's no way that YouTube could control all that copyrighted material in a single day that's uploaded, and in order to do so, they would need to put in some new filter, and this filter could potentially break YouTube entirely because of just how bad the copyright system is right now. Right now, the copyright system is pretty bad. If you've seen my videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about with these music companies coming in doing copyright claims. I got a copyright claim on my Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order video. It was an 11-hour video, me playing the game from start to finish, and I got an 11-second copyright claim in an 11-hour video on background Star Wars music, and I couldn't even remove it because that was during a cutscene where a character dies, and I didn't want to, ruin that part of the walkthrough, so I had no choice but to keep that in. And UMG, the music company that made that copyright claim, took my entire video. They took credit for the entire video, and they monetized that video for themselves. And this happens to so many other YouTubers. I'm not the only person that talks about this, but relating it to the video that I'm making, Article 13 will not be implemented in Great Britain. So if you are British, if you are a British viewer of mine, you do not have to worry. This law will not be implemented in the UK. And it's actually directly because of Brexit. Now, I don't want to get into the whole Brexit thing, but Britain has left the European Union. It's left the European Union on January 31st, and it will no longer follow EU law. Now, I believe they still technically have to follow some EU law until December, but as for Article 13, they do not have to follow it. They will not be implementing it. So Great Britain will not be dealing with Article 13. If you're a British viewer, like I said, you don't have to deal with this. And what happens is a lot of these music companies are outraged. A lot of these people that make these bogus copyright claims, constantly extorting channels, these people are angry, and these are the same people that were pushing this law. And they're making bogus claims saying that, oh, this is not fair to the music companies, we have creators that are going to be stealing our revenue. Kind of ironic that they're saying that we're going to have creators, YouTube creators, stealing our revenue when these are the same people that extort channels, make ridiculous copyright claims for 5 seconds or less, and just claim entire videos on that. These people don't know what the definition of fair use is. Fair use, when you're critiquing something, you're reacting to something, that should not be a copyright. But yet, almost every time, whenever somebody uploads a reaction video, the majority of the time, they get copyright claims. Now, I uploaded some reaction videos. A lot of them, I got copyright claims. Some of them I didn't. And I shouldn't be getting copyright claims on reaction videos. Nobody should be getting that. And when you're playing a video game, you're doing a walkthrough of that, and even if you mute the audio, the music, a lot of times the music will still play in cutscenes and you get a copyright claim, and it's just so annoying and so frustrating when that happens. And these companies have been so unreasonable with that. In their eyes, if there's literally like less than 5 seconds of something, they are gonna take that. They see it, oh, this is our stuff now, we're gonna claim your whole video, and if that creator puts so much work into it, does not matter. So I'm gonna be reading you guys 2 articles here of these music companies getting pretty pissed off about this, and we're gonna talk about their reaction specifically. Not gonna go through the whole article because one of the articles is really long, so I'm just gonna try to sum it up, and then we're gonna just read the parts of it that are dealing with these music companies being outraged. So let's see right here. Let me just go through this article here. Okay, so it says right here, according to British Conservative MP Chris Skidmore, Minister of State, Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy, Universities and Science, the UK won't be implementing the law after all. Skidmore states the UK government has no plans to comply with the EU copyright directive after the country leaves the European Union via Brexit. Skidmore added in his written response to a question about the government's post-Brexit plans for the law posed by Labour MP Joe Stevens that any further changes to the UK's copyright framework will be considered as part of the usual domestic policy process. And now this is where the music companies get pissed off. While the UK's government latest stance on the directive will likely please the likes of YouTube, the move has drawn sharp criticism from elsewhere in the industry. Independent music body Impala issued a statement, see below today, January 28, arguing that it's illogical not to deliver the results now. On Friday, January 24th, Tom Kehoe, if I'm reading that correctly, Deputy CEO of UK Music, an umbrella body that represents the recording, publishing, and live sectors, wrote to Skidmore to request an urgent meeting to discuss the music industry's concerns. Yeah, concerns. How many times have we YouTube creators been screwed over, excuse my language, by these music companies that are constantly making bogus claims? And they are perfectly fine with that. They have done absolutely nothing to stop these bogus claims. These music companies love extorting channels, and now they're discussing the music industry's concerns. These music companies up here, I'm not familiar with them personally. I don't know if they do the whole, copyright stuff that a lot of other music companies do, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm most familiar with UMG. Now, it says down here, Annabella Coldrick, CEO of the UK's Music Manager Forum, said that it is vital that the entire package is enacted. The copyright directive is about much more than the value gap. It has potential to recalibrate IP legislation for the benefit of those who contribute most to the success of British music. Said Coldrick, for advocates of Brexit, the UK's departure from the EU is supposed to provide clarity and certainty. Unfortunately, only days before January 31st, the UK's artists, songwriters, musicians, and producers now find themselves faced with the reverse. Andrea C. Martin, CEO of PRS for Music, said, we acknowledge the political reasons behind the announcement, but that doesn't change the fact that in some areas, the UK's current copyright framework is failing to protect creators. Now, when they're saying creators here, they're talking about the people that are making they're talking about the people that are making music. The bands, the musicians, the people that are making the songs. But I like how they talk about that the framework is failing to protect music creators. How much more protection do you want? There's a whole content ID system on YouTube that instantly detects when any kind of music is playing, even when it's so low, so little, that content ID thing detects it, even if it's such a small amount. It will detect it. Where are these music companies being outraged about the individual YouTube creator, the person, that has maybe a few thousand subscribers, does not have the power to fight all these lawyers that these companies are just coming in and just making these claims? I like how they just completely ignore that, and they say, our rights as, music producers, that is going to be violated. The lack of clarity will stifle the UK's creative sector, one of our engines for growth. If our creator community is not going to benefit from the same level of protection as those in Europe, we urge the government to set out clearly and quickly how it will ensure the UK remains an attractive home for creative businesses and their rights. You know what I'll say? This Article 13 thing, if this had like a clause in the Article 13, and that clause specifically said, if you make any kind of false copyright claim, you will be held directly liable. They want to hold YouTube directly liable for any kind of copyright stuff? Well, then we'll hold the whole music company directly liable for any false copyright claim. If you put that clause in, I guarantee you these people would back off. They would say, no, 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 okay, we're not supporting this law. So they want to hold YouTube directly accountable, but they would not take any kind of responsibility for those bogus copyright claims. And like I said a lot of times on my videos, whenever there's, you dispute these claims, they are the people that review it. These music companies are the people that review these copyright claims. They are the ones that review it. It doesn't go to YouTube, doesn't go to a third party, it goes to them. And then if you dispute it a second time, I believe it goes to YouTube at that point. If YouTube doesn't agree with you, you get a strike. But guess what? If YouTube agrees with you and sees that you are in the right, these companies don't get any kind of punishment. There is no kind of punishment. They don't get their copyright, authority revoked. None of that happens. YouTube's basically like, okay, you made a mistake, it's fine. But when the creator, disputes it and they don't agree, you get a strike on your channel. 3 strikes, you're terminated, you're gone, you're deleted. And that's what has a lot of people pissed off about this whole copyright thing. I'm not the only person that, is annoyed with copyright. There's a lot of other channels. Just go on YouTube and just type in copyright abuse, UMG, other music companies. You will see what these music companies do, how they just extort channels. It's absolutely ridiculous. So let's see here. Is there anything else in this regard? Geoff Taylor, Chief Executive, BPI and Brit Awards, said it remains of vital importance to British music and the UK's creative industries that digital platforms pay fairly for the content they use and put in place effective proactive measures to ensure illegal content does not appear on their services. I like how they use the term illegal content. That is such a vague term. When somebody's uploading full movies, full songs, okay, we get that. They're violating copyright policy, but what about fair use? What if somebody's, playing a game? There's, a song that's in the background for a few seconds. What if somebody's doing a reaction video to something and they get a copyright claim? They just completely ignore that. They don't talk about that at all. They just talk about how they're going to be hurting. We will continue to engage closely with government on this subject to ensure this goal is achieved. You see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's all about them. Our copyright rights are gonna be violated. Nothing about the creators. And they act like they don't make any mistakes. They act like they're perfectly fine. And they act like people that use YouTube, the YouTube creators. They act like we are, the bad guys. Like, we're the ones constantly stealing stuff. Just because there's a few people that are uploading copyright stuff doesn't mean you can label all, YouTube creators, especially people, playing games, doing reaction videos, fair use. You can't label that as copyright. And, that is pretty much it. But there's also, it says here, the UK-based recorded music industry body BPI, which represents the commercial interest of Universal Music, Sony Music, and Warner Music, among others, attacked YouTube for its ongoing carpet-bombing propaganda against Article 13, which is suggested feels like a challenge to the legitimacy of the democratic process. Now, these people I'm actually familiar with. Universal Music, UMG, these guys are the biggest scumbags ever. These are the same people that made that 11-second copyright claim on my 11-hour video. I'm sorry if I'm raising my voice here, guys, but I was just so annoyed when that happened because it took me so much to edit that video, put that whole thing together, 11-hour video, and these people just come in saying, oh, no, you had 11 seconds of music playing in the background, copyright, we're taking the whole thing. Sony Music, gotten few copyright claims from them, and Warner Music, I believe others, they also make bogus copyright claims. And I like how it says that they attacked YouTube for its ongoing carpet-bombing propaganda against Article 13, which it suggested feels like a challenge to the legitimacy of the democratic process. What about the rights of the creator? I like to call these people, these music companies, I often call these people, the music mafia. That's exactly what I see them as. Constantly coming in, extorting channels for ridiculous reasons, and just taking all credit for it. In March last year, Europe for Creators, which includes music bodies such as Impala, AIM, SISAC, Bosca, Impro, PRS for Music, and many others, and which claims to represent some 12 million jobs across in Europe, echoed the BPI and criticized YouTube for the propaganda of misinformation ahead of the Article 13 vote that April. YouTube knows how bad this whole content ID thing is. They've done little to change it, but they know that if they're going to be held liable, they're going to have to create a whole new filter, and it's going to be a giant mess. These people that say that YouTube is creating propaganda of misinformation, these people are either the people that are constantly extorting people on YouTube, or they are completely misinformed on just how bad the content ID system. Any YouTuber, anybody that does, that does YouTube videos on their channel that, has, they don't even have to have thousands of subscribers. Anybody that just uploads a ton of videos, ton of gameplay videos will tell you just how bad these copyright claims. And that's just for games. People that do reaction videos, constantly copyright claimed. And the people that support Article 13 claim that there's a part that was added in that guarantees the right to fair use, but fair use is not guaranteed right now. Fair use is not protected at this moment. There's a current copyright system already in play. It's already in play in YouTube. YouTube has their own automatic content ID system. It doesn't work, it's pretty broken, but it's still there. And these people want to make it more strict. It's going to completely break everything. Copyright is already being protected. Nobody supports, almost very little few people support actually using copyrighted material. When people are playing a game, using it for fair use, these companies extort these creators. And that's the point that I'm making and a lot of other people are making. I'm very happy, that, the UK is not going to be implementing Article 13. And when I was reading through that article and I read the part about UMG, Universal Music, being angry that this was not going to be enforced in the UK, I knew that that was a good thing. When UMG, Universal Music Group, are pissed off, that is a good thing, because these people are literally the scummiest company that I have ever encountered. They've stolen so much from so many different creators across YouTube. Just type in UMG copyright claims, and you'll see exactly what they do. But that is pretty much it for the video. Let me know what you guys think down below. And if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you're new to my channel, enjoy my content, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.